Jalen Brunson recently went down with a knee contusion. And once that happened, everybody collectively held their breath, waiting for an update on Jalen Brunson and his status. Well, thankfully, we have the MRI results, and I'm happy to report they came back positive. We're going to break down these latest reports and see exactly when Jalen Brunson can return for the New York Knicks. All of this and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now and make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. MRI results come back clean for all-star guard Jalen Brunson. I think I speak for everybody collectively, all New York Knicks fans, when I say I am so happy to hear that Jalen Brunson's injury is not that serious. He's avoided serious injury. It's just a knee contusion. It's not that serious. According to Tom Thibodeau, it's actually a bruise, and Jalen Brunson should be back sooner rather than later. And the reason we know it's not that severe is because going into a couple of games, Jalen Brunson has been holding that questionable tag. He would not be questionable if the injury was serious. But let's take a look at the latest reports here as they help give a better understanding about Jalen Brunson and his current status. Tom Thibodeau stated Jalen Brunson's knee contusion is better than it was, and the Knicks are holding him out only until he's completely ready. Brunson also underwent an MRI, and that came back clean. Ian Bagley, our resident SNY NBA insider for the New York Knicks, also confirms this and states the following. Tom Thibodeau said that Jalen Brunson had an MRI done on his knee and it came back clean. Thibodeau said Brunson's contused left knee is feeling better, but it's not well enough yet for him to be able to play. I think some hallelujahs and some amens need to go out to the injury gods because the Knicks have been bitten by this injury bug for so many weeks now. We've already lost Julius Randle, OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson. Isaiah Hartenstein is still dealing with that sore Achilles. Dante DiVincenzo and Josh Hart oftentimes are limping. Thankfully, they are still good to go and they can still play. And then we just lost Jalen Brunson. When that injury happened, guys, I nearly lost my mind. If you didn't check out the video I released once that video went down, please go ahead to see it. Because if you want to see myself lose control and just go off, that video will help do all of that. Because losing Jalen Brunson, for me, would be one of the biggest blows for the New York Knicks and what they're trying to do this season. Losing Julius Randle is bad enough, don't get me wrong. But if we have to lose Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson, I don't know how we can salvage this season and have even a hope or a prayer to do any type of damage come the postseason. Because even if we can crawl to the postseason and manage to get there, it's not going to mean anything if we're not fully healthy and don't have our stars available to do something, to make an impact, to make a difference once we get there. We need a fully healthy roster once we get to the playoffs. We don't need any injuries, but more than that, we need time to help this team gel and gain chemistry together. We cannot have them playing their first full game together after a practice during the postseason. That's not going to work. We need everybody back for the New York Knicks fully healthy with at least 5 to 10 games left in the regular season. Because if you have that, you can at least test some things, try some things out, learn chemistry, and learn to gel together. If you do that and pair that with good, consistent practice, you might be able to get into the postseason and make so much damage, so much noise that you can be considered an underdog or a legit threat come the postseason. And that's exactly what the New York Knicks want to do. They want to give themselves the best shot once it comes to the postseason in order for them to make that impact and try to make a deep playoff push. They can do it. They have the assets necessary and they have the talent when healthy to make that run. But there's the catch there. When healthy has been plaguing this Knicks team since January. Losing OG was such a big hit. Losing Julius Randle, another big hit. Losing one of the best offensive rebounders in the game in Mitchell Robinson, huge hit. And then Isaiah Hartenstein playing limited minutes. So one of the best centers to come in after Mitchell Robinson gets injured in Isaiah Hartenstein, who has stepped up so big in his absence. Now we have to have him play limited minutes. It's everything going against the Knicks right now. That's why we're losing more games than we're winning. And it has many people around the NBA and around the league believing that maybe this Knicks team isn't that serious. Maybe they aren't that legit contender that a lot of people claim they were after the trades were made. And see, if you're thinking that, that's foolish. Why would it change? Why would a fully healthy Knicks roster still not be a contender when that was the case in January? It doesn't make sense. The Knicks, when fully healthy, probably have the best big men in terms of defensive big men in the league in Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson. When healthy, they have two legit all-stars in Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle who can pull multiple defenders. You know what that creates? Space and opportunity on the wings and on the perimeter. And we just added Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks, two players who shoot great from three. So we have those guys. Already a great shooter in Jalen Brunson from three. Already a lights-out three-point shooter in Dante DiVincenzo on the roster as well, too. So we have him. If we are fully healthy and we have that stacked roster, there is nobody that's dealing with this Knicks team on a night-to-night basis, at least easily, because they have shooters that can shoot you out of the gym. They'll have stars that can penetrate and create. And once you have those type of threats and the defense has to make a choice whether they have to stay with the shooter or collapse on the guy going into the paint, that creates the opportunity that the Knicks have wanted all season long. And now they have the personnel on the roster to make you pay. That's why a fully healthy Knicks team is absolutely dangerous. And hearing that Jalen Brunson and his MRI came back clean, he's not going to hopefully have any lingering issues, and he should be coming back for the New York Knicks sooner rather than later. It's so good to hear, music to my ears. The fact that he was questionable going into that Hawks game, which we unfortunately lost, is still good to hear because it means that, let's say it was a playoff game or a game of importance, he might have been able to play, but he didn't because according to Tom Thibodeau, they held him out until he's 100% completely healthy and ready to play. And with an all-star guard like Jalen Brunson, I don't mind the New York Knicks doing this at all. You want to play him slow. You want to make sure he's fully healthy before he comes back. You want to take your time. Please do that. I want you to do that. I don't want Jalen Brunson to have any issues or any excuses when he comes back. I want him to play his full set of minutes, and I want him to be fully healthy. So if he needs to take a week off, a couple of more games off, please do that for yourself. Get fully healthy, and then once you're back, I'll take you back fully healthy so that way you can have an impact for this Knicks team and hopefully not put yourself in a position to harm yourself. If you come back sooner rather than later because you're thinking to yourself, the Knicks can't drop this many games because we're going to lose seeding, that's going to be a bad way to think about it because you might do yourself more harm than good. Jalen, I think I speak for everybody collectively from the New York Knicks fan base when I say we miss you. We're happy the injury is not serious, but also come back when you're fully healthy so you're not risking yourself or your health for this team when it's not really necessary right now. We can try to float without you until necessary. I would rather the New York Knicks try and attempt to float past some of these games without Jalen if it's going to give him more time to rest and be fully healthy. A fully healthy Jalen Brunson is way more impactful than a Jalen Brunson trying to give it a go but not fully healthy. And it might do more harm than good. Jalen, please rest, please stay healthy, and please do us all a favor and come back only once you're fully healthy. But here's another thing I wanted to mention. Even though we're talking about Jalen Brunson and injuries, something also to consider is how the New York Knicks start games. Because oftentimes, if the Knicks start a game very good and they're doing very well, they're likely going to win that game. But if they start out poor, not scoring the ball well, oftentimes that's a loss. And that's not only me saying it. The data backs that up as well, too. Check out this stat. It's not a good one to have if you're the New York Knicks. Shout out to the New York basketball account on the app X for giving us the following information. The Knicks record when they win the first quarter, 25-5. When they lose the first quarter, 8-19. You know what that ends up being? The biggest differential in the league. That was given to us by NBA.com. Basically stating that when the Knicks start off strong, meaning maybe they have a 13-point, 14-point player in Julius Randle go off. That's been missing for a lot of times right now. But let's say you have that happen. Jalen Brunson go off. OG go off. All these other players go off. That likely means the New York Knicks are winning that game. But if we're not scoring well, it likely means the Knicks are going to lose that game, especially if we get off to a slow start to start the game. And that's not a surprise. It's basically saying this in so many words. If teams start off the game slow, they're likely going to lose the game. If teams start off the game strong, they're likely going to win the game. Sounds like common sense, right? It is, but when you see it like this, in a stat like this, it just makes it even more of a point that the New York Knicks need to get healthy. That way they can start off games more strong. They'll have their depth that they can utilize just in case of anything, and that they can start winning more games that they would otherwise lose if they weren't healthy. We need to start getting back to that time. And the only way we get there is by waiting, being patient, and giving time to our players to heal. We've been doing that without a doubt, but we have to do it just a little bit better. We have to be able to spread these minutes out just a little bit more even around all of the players we have available and active on the roster. That's the only gripe I have with Tom Thibodeau at times. I understand you're going to play the players that are going to give you the best chance to win. Understandable. But I think you should also understand what games you're playing now and the games you're going to have to play in the future. The Knicks are going to want to be a deep playoff team. If that's the case, they're going to need to be healthy. The minutes are going to have to be managed just a little bit better. So I hope moving forward, Tom Thibodeau and the coaching staff does that with the minutes and help regulates them a little bit better across all of the active players. That's going to happen a lot more once we get healthy, but it needs to happen now so we don't add to the injury reserve list. This Knicks team, when fully healthy, will run through any NBA team, will go toe-to-toe with any NBA team, is not scared of any NBA team, and with good reason, because when healthy, they are a legit contender in the Eastern Conference, and you might be able to even put them as a long shot for a contender for the NBA Finals. That's how good this Knicks team is. But don't take my word for it. Just be patient and wait, because once we get healthy, this Knicks team is going to show you through its strong play why they are a legit contender in the NBA. But what about you guys? What do you think about this Jalen Brunson injury and the positive update that we have, given that his MRI came back clean? And what about this stat? What do you think about the New York Knicks if they start out strong in that first quarter, usually winning the game, and normally if they don't start out strong in that first quarter, losing the game? Let me know in the comments below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knicks fans. Peace.